for me to come to your home. I used to meet you somewhere in town. I can see you're expanding the business district beyond what we knew. So I congratulate you for getting your home. And the team one day should at least contribute some bags of cement and we improve on it.
That's great.
So what you do, personal notes, because he said who is Brigadier Kulaigye, but I'm normally shy to talk about myself.
No, just feel free.
But Brigadier Kulaigye is a teacher by profession, an economist by choice, and a soldier by anger. Not that I'm angry now. I got angry then when I was 14 years of age. When a soldier held my ID upside down and he kicked me. I promised God that I would send away that soldier and put on the uniform. So I didn't look for a job in the army. At the time I joined in 1989, there were 4 jobs competing for me. And when I consulted my father, he said, any young man to be useful today, he must hold a spear. That's what my father told me. May his soul rest in peace. So in my 34 years of service to this country, I can say I've been governed by the following things. 1, my father taught me to value myself. Never to do things that will tarnish my name. In the Kitara language, obutahemuka. Obutakola bitasaanidde. It doesn't matter whether you are hungry or not, don't do what is not right. So integrity is supposed to be driving me wherever I am, irrespective of my circumstances. That's a lesson from my old man. Lesson 2, he always supervised my work. So if you didn't do a neat job, you would get caned. Up to date, whatever I do, I give it my best. So that if anybody is going to check my work, you have no fault to find. And that has left me wherever I've gone. Thirdly, I never compete with anybody. I compete with myself. I set a standard I want to reach and I go for it. Reason, I discovered that throughout my school career, I minded my business. Because God gave me a talent, I would sit in class, take in everything the teacher has given. When others are going to revise, me, I'm doing my other things. And so when it comes to exams, I would pass. So people would say, this man does not read. How comes he beats us? Now, the reason is, when I would be in class, I would be attentive. We get out, I play. So, I always saw people trying to compete with me. I realized I don't have to compete with anybody, but to compete with myself. So it's always important. You don't waste your energy that you are competing with so and so. You can have a role model, somebody to emulate, but competing, because you are you, each one of you is original. God created you as the original. Don't photocopy. If you think there is another Tumusime, you are mistaken. It is you. And they believe you are the original person. Some tycoon had offered me a ticket to go to South Africa and teach. I told him, thank you, sir, I will come for the ticket. Next, he saw me a year later in uniform. And he said, you are very stupid. How do I give you a chance to go and make money in South Africa and you don't go? I told him, sir, if I went to South Africa, I would be a sojourner, not a native, not the owner of the country, and the issues in my country would not have been resolved. So why don't we sit here and solve our problems rather than having to go elsewhere? As fate would have it, actually that time people would go to Lesotho, they would go to Swaziland. After 2 years they were chased. Even in South Africa after independence, Ugandans became unwanted. So you can say how God had advised me correctly. I stayed. Number 5, self-discipline. I have lived as an adult many times alone. But you never see me in clubs, have you? I don't go for clubs. I love dancing, so when I want to dance, I put music in my house and I will dance myself lame. I don't have to go to a club. Reason, night activities have their own shortcomings. Each time you get out of the gate at night, you have exposed yourself to any danger. I want to enjoy with others, whom I will be knowing. So I never do anything that has no program. I don't. And despite running around every other time, I'm always energetic. Yesterday I was in Chankwanzi when we spoke. Saturday I was in Guru. And tomorrow I'm going to be somewhere towards the Rwenzoris. Reason, I am not a mpakasi. And that's what my next point. Never work like a porter. A porter works for money. And when you are working for money, you do a lousy job. But work to satisfy your conscience. If I was done supervising myself, would I be happy with what I have done? That should be the governing factor, the governing principle rather. But to say, after all, this is not my job. What will build you is that very job. What has built me to be what I am today is my work in the military. So what if I did not give it my best? Where would I be? So the point I'm sharing with you, ladies and gentlemen, always give out your best at your work. It will promote you. And it will pay you. Now, on many occasions I've had people say, Mfuna muchi. In the first instance, you gain experience in what you are doing. Secondly, like I said, it gives you a brand. You brand yourself by doing your job well. And allow me to share with you a trick I one time played on impression management. When I went for officer training, I knew it was tough. 8 weeks, no sleep at all. So the first week, I did everything they said. Second week, I did everything we were commanded to do. So the Tanzanian instructor said, this man loves the course. Now, when everybody else had gotten beaten, I walked this instructor and they said, I'm not well. And the one said, what? So his colleagues asked him, what is he telling you? He said, he is not well. The others told him, he said, that if that man says he's not well, it is true. He loves what he does. And the miracle happened. I was allowed to go and sleep. The whole afternoon, the whole night. And that enabled me to complete now the 8 weeks left. So what am I saying? Always build an impression. When you are going out of wherever you are staying, it doesn't matter where you are staying. But go ready to impress people who will be looking at you. Because men are meaning both gender are judgmental and they base on appearance. Before you even begin talking, they base on how you appear. And that's why I always refer to my daughters the way they behave. You know, they start checking themselves from the bedroom. Then they are not satisfied. They come to the window of the house. They check. It's not enough. When she approaches the car, she will do the same. Do you know why? I wonder whether even they themselves understand why they do it. But in their makeup, in their DNA, they are always in competition with real and imaginary rivals. Are you competing to produce the best journalistic work wherever you are? When you write a story, is it an award winner? Do you read it and also smile to yourself? When you take a video clip, is it the best angle that I should have portrayed in this story? I don't know, I'm communicating, friends. So, if you want to be a successful journalist or whatever you are doing, do not work for a supervisor. Because somebody is near you, you there for work. No. Self-motivation is the best. And lastly, do not expect anybody else to make you happy. Happiness is from internal spirit. In the first instance, nobody wants to make you happy anyway, unless he or she is expecting something from you. So the best thing to do, you make yourself happy. You are the only person who can make yourself happy. Not your husband, not your wife, not your child. Because I can tell you, I was telling him that the wives you marry are strangers. And nobody has ever understood them. A pastor was saying, the only person who spoke to the devil is a woman. And nobody knows what they even discussed, leave alone what is recorded about the fruit. But the point is, if you expect your wife to be the source of happiness, you are daydreaming. If you expect your husband to be the source of your happiness, you are chasing wind. Happiness originates from inside. What brings it about? Satisfaction with what you have done. If what you have done does not satisfy you, it means you did the shoulder job, go back to rest. Okay? The methodology may be different, or the methods used may be different, but the state can't abduct. I remember before I became spokesman, there were issues about where have the people been taken. That has since changed. When somebody is picked, within 2 days or third day, the person is in a court of law. True or false? So even the method will improve. That one I assure you. Just give it time. We have young men who are excited, and we are trying to tame them, to do the things the way we used to do them. We have survived for these years because of doing things in a disciplined way. Okay? So, the state arrests, however, unlike some of us have been predicting, the criminals exploit the kind of tension in the country and also do what they did, like they did on Thursday with the Pakistani. Those were criminals. But the state will arrest you, arraign you in court. That's the bottom line. At least I remember there was even issues of beating up people. That one has stopped. So even other things will change. Now on the tweets you're asking me, you see, the military will communicate by message. Okay? And every morning I go to my office, I must read the military messages. Now anything outside the military message, I can't comment.
But he says, because General Mohoz is a general of the land forces, and he said, I and my army.
My army and me, let me correct you.
Either side, yes.
Because he is using the Ugandan army.
Yes, he's not using, he's referring.
He's referring to the Ugandan army.
Correct. Something also you don't know. There are some individuals, when attempts are made to arrest them, they actually even attempt to disarm the soldiers. Were you aware? And that has happened several times. I have heard people talk about this sheikh of Nsanji. That sheikh actually attempted to disarm a soldier. The difference between them and I, if it were me, I maim your legs and I take you. And I don't, even if I don't use my gun, if you get close to me, I can disable you and you are in my custody. But you know the times are different. We who are hardened by the bush and those who have been eating blue band, there is a difference in how we are doing things. So, bear with us. It's what is it called? It's on-job training in addition to the previous course we have done, the courses we have done, and the things will improve.
My last question is, what are you doing to make sure that...
And foremost, NUP is not the first opposition party, right? Did we arrest everybody from opposition? The answer is no. Secondly, if it was about NUP, the president of the party goes out, comes back, and when he goes out, the things he speaks out there, some I can't even repeat. He's received at the airport with a bouquet of flowers. So if we are witch hunting, no, why not arrest him? Or Wongoya, the party secretary general. Those are the what you call the kingpins of the party. What about Honorable Senyonyi, the spokesperson? So it's not about the party. It's about how some individuals behave in that party. Remember the case of FDC. I think people thought if you have bragado and what have you, that's how you do opposition. Not to the contrary. And I think opposition does not mean hating your country. There are things that you are not expected to stoop to as long as you are regarded as a political leader. Therefore, I find it unwise when a leader of a political organization decides to undermine his or her own country in the name of opposition. You know very well the Labour Party is in opposition in Britain. Even when the Conservatives are so disorganized, you don't hear the Labour criticizing Britain. Yes, they can criticize the government, and criticizing the government, ladies and gentlemen, is noble. Opposing government legitimately is noble. But when you begin using technology to do things that, you see, every society has values. I don't know, for you are young, but when I was brought up, you would never wish somebody dead, leave alone saying he has died when he's alive. Then somebody goes on Twitter or whatever, and he begins killing people who are living. We find this outrageous. I have been killed 3 times. Me, I don't care because I'm not about to die anyway. Then you have somebody saying genocide is dead. They have killed the president. But these people have those who depend on them, and these things affect them. Or when we celebrate the death of a person, yes, he may have been bad, but he has a family. Now, somebody said even those ones who were arrested or those who were killed are families. That's very true and it's regrettable. But that 2 wrongs don't make a right. Now, those who have not been accounted for, if they are in our custody, certainly we have to account for them. And that's why we have the court martial going on, we have the civil courts. For sure, if they are not in Kitalia and they are not in Luzira, then somebody should account for them, because the Parliamentary Commission Committee on Human Rights has visited our detention centers. And they made it in such a way that they don't even warn us. They said when we are ready, you will see us on the quarter guard, and they came. So like I said, out of excitement, some of us have made mistakes. But a lot is being done to improve on ourselves. So it is, and I'll use this very opportunity also to send you guys. When we come recruiting, like we're going to recruit officer cadets next year, please give us the best. Don't give us riffraffs. People forget that we come from the same society. You live with your parents for 20 years, 25 years, and then you come to the army. And the army is expected to change you in 9 months. It's not possible. The Baganda say, that's where the problem is. And so when these VNN are given authority, they misuse it. But like the Americans say, some of them are sons of the beach. What do? We have to continue. You saw when the ladies misbehaved, we took them back. Another 4 months of training. And I'm sure they have improved over time. So, equally, criticize us where we are wrong, legitimately. And where we are not wrong, but you have a point to pass, let us also know you have become political. Because some of you have political sides. How do we handle it? Now you are a man of the or a woman of the pen. Next you are holding a flag of a party. But you are still in the profession. So how would I treat you? A journalist? A politician? What are you? And you know some of the people I'm talking about. Okay.
No, I find that very much.
First and foremost, why do people want to go for guns?
So it's a question, yeah.
Why are people running for guns? When some of us that are legitimately supposed to have them, we don't work with them. I didn't plan for it, but you can see the way I'm dressed. If I had an arm, you would know it. How comes I didn't? But it's again in the psyche. You see, there is a saying in Luganda that water cannot flow where it didn't flow before. Because we have had insecurity in this country before. 1, 2, because the gun has been a source of power. That's why some people always want to have guns with them. But the latest I have, IGP has stopped the issuing of firearms. Because IGP must allow you. Number 2, some of us have recommended that it's being done. Whoever has been armed or allowed to arm himself should be vetted. Because this means for somebody entering a bar and you put a side arm on the table, as if that is the money you're going to pay for the beer, is totally unacceptable. But 3, show some severance, disarm security officers. That's what I was saying you. That tells where you can't touch a security officer, even on the arm, leave alone attempting to disarm him. Again, it points one thing: degeneration of society. I don't know whether you read the book called The Trial in the City. Huh? And the guy said when the madness of an entire nation disturbs the solitary mind, it's not enough to say the man is mad. When a young man who joined 2 years ago sees you disarming his colleague, what will stop him from shooting you the moment you make a step towards him? Because you will think you are going to do the same like the other one has done. So my prayer is that society should behave the way it's expected to behave. Let's be disciplined, keep the law, and we have no choice but to keep the law. When we misbehave, then you have all the legitimate reasons to say you guys are wrong. To me, 1, mutual respect. Okay? 2, keeping our lanes. You see how you are now? That's how you are supposed to cover a demonstration. When you go into the rioters, your safety is not guaranteed. 3, constant improvement on professional work. 4, journalists reporting accurately the things they don't like to report. I am a victim of assault by rioters. I was actually in this very uniform. The difference is I was Lieutenant Colonel then. Okay? I approached an NTV journalist whom I saw on the scene to give me that footage. I even paid for it. You only see the stick in the air and you see it landing on me. Who is holding it? You don't see the face. Will I trust a journalist again? When I know you have kept facts away deliberately. I was the victim. So what I'm saying, balanced reporting. We earn you the respect. If you are not balanced, then you will get the other side of it. The Colorado incident you are talking about. Who of you ever showed the border man hitting a soldier in the chest with a front tire? Who showed it? Be it video or still? None. But it happened. And that was the starting point. The men and women in uniform have feelings. They have blood flowing in their veins as well. So when they see that you are not balanced, I'm afraid they will not respect you. Now the Kasese case, I don't know. After I don't speak for the police. But the case of Kololo, I'm aware. Those who are not who are supposed to be compensated and haven't been, I'm going to follow it up.
Yes, you asked a question and got to the end of it.
I think that's unpacking what is not yet ready. The commission, the committee, the board of inquiry was set up. Terms of reference were given. The board of inquiry was given 2 weeks to deliver. They haven't. So there's no progress, I know, other than them doing their work. Okay? The other progress I could say, tell you, of course, is that the first chopper was repaired and flew from the scene. It wasn't brought in pieces. Repairs were done on the scene. The old lady was given money to get her to stay first as we build her house. That's the progress I can give you. But it was repaired by our technical committee team and it flew away. You haven't seen that video and I sent it to you? You see it. So that's the progress I can give. About the investigations, we have to wait.
Okay, the last one, yes.
Yeah, the last question.
There are things you need to note. One, I've told you our method of communication, internal. Secondly, our method of communication externally is through my office, through the Minister of Defense. Okay? 3, no general can declare war except the head of state and the parliament. So for me, if my commander-in-chief has not spoken about war, I'm sorry, I have no comment to give.
I think you're done. Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm not satisfied about the first question. You said they are spending 1 or 2 days. I myself, I came to office one time. I got somebody
You are arrested.
who was
When you go to my office, were you arrested?
got a mother
Yes.
of a certain boy who was abducted in 2021 generation. He lives in Wakiso. I'll give you some details. But up to now, our mother is still looking for that. There's nowhere to be seen. Even the court martial where they are not doing.
Yes. But you see, this is what I've told you. In making such mistakes, even wrong elements take advantage. That's why I said the state has no reason to abduct. No. Again, it's a weak state that can use such a method. If I want to arrest you, I will arrest you. Now, what is not being done, reading rights and what have you, that's what I understand. Okay? 2, the bottom line, and I insist, and I've insisted internally, anybody that has been arrested by the state must be accounted for. That's what the people's government does. But otherwise, arresting will happen as long as people don't follow the law. That's how things are done elsewhere. I want to share with you just experience of what others are doing. You saw, ladies and gentlemen, elsewhere, who touches a uniformed officer? Elsewhere, where have you seen it?
It's unusual.
Not unusual. It doesn't happen. I have seen the American police officers. He will tell you, get out of your car, and then the hand is already where? On the side arm. Not a baton, no. A side arm. And the fellow will say, stand by your car, hands on the car. And somebody obliges. But here, you want to show that you have muscles to flex with the security officers. And sometimes the consequences may not be good for even you, the person being arrested. Me, I believe when you cooperate with the security agencies, you lessen damage on yourself, you enable the security agency to serve you, and you enable us to deal with the indisciplinados among us ourselves. Because we are not all angels. Okay? Sir?
Yeah, question.
N'okuseka kanseke. Ekisooka, Uganda yensaale mu kukunga amawanga ag'omu kitundu kino ky'ebuvanjuba okwegatta, East African Federation. Ekyokubiri, Government ya Kenya ne ya Uganda enkolagana ya bwase Uganda era mu kimanje bulungi nti President Ruto ali mu kubajja waliwo kimanya ekyo agenda kubeera wano ng'omugenyi ku independence kati tuyinza tutya ate okuba twogera ku kyokuwamba Kenya tetugenda neyanza okunzijukiza ssebo n'olwensonga eyo tuyina amakubo agayitibwamu okulangirira olutalo pulezidenti w'eggwanga nga akkiriziddwa ne parliament akkiriziganyiza ne parliament enjawulo bw'aba nga eggwanga lirumbiddwa pulezidenti asobola okulangira olutalo n'agenda mu parliament oluvannyuma kati ensonga zombi teziriiwo n'olwekyo nze nandirowoozezza ereme kubeera nsonga etutaataaganya abala ne Kenya gye twasomera amagye kakati ate tunagendayo manyi baga booteresa ensuwa tosobola kasukayo ejjinja anfuna bulungi sebo people tend to misuse our soldiers. I bought land in Namagoma 13 years ago. Last year, some young people come saying you bought from a wrong person. I said, oh, but the title I got from him is here. They have taken me to court. I have not brought soldiers on my land, so they don't touch it. Never mind, they tried actually to grab, and the villagers said, this man has been with us peacefully, you cannot provoke him. So they have gone to court. What am I saying? There are attempts by some people, one, to victimize soldiers. Because he's a soldier, it's as if we have no right to own land. There's one aspect. Two, there's the aspect indeed of misusing soldiers. Like the case recently in Inwea, where 2 soldiers were involved in evicting people. The person evicting them is a civilian called Bongomin. But he took advantage of this, whatever he promised them, I don't know, and they were involved. We have arrested them. 3, by the president establishing a land team headed by retired Brigadier General is an answer to your question. If you deploy soldiers and the general comes, they will be thrown away. I can tell you there was a case of an attempt to grab national water land in Ugorobi some years back when I was still spokesman. I arrested the soldiers, and the person who was involved was not very small. When he had Kulaigye had arrested them, akapoa. What am I saying? You see, as long as the devil lives, mistakes will be made. The bottom line, how would you handle these mistakes? So I would like to observe the following. 1, no one is allowed to use soldiers in the land wrangle. No one. And indeed, somebody was using our soldiers in Owino. I removed them some years ago. 2, soldiers also have a right to own land. Now, if they have bought land or is owning a piece of land somewhere, why do you want to dispossess him? Because I have also cases in my office. Soldiers are crying. If you don't have a Solomonic wisdom like Tamale Mirundi puts it, you may victimize the soldier. I had an old woman crying in my office against a major. Fortunately for me, I followed the Chiganda approach. I went on the ground. I found out the woman was the one in the wrong. But she had shed a packet of tears in my office. And I had since forgotten it. Recently, I met the officer, he's now a Kado. He said, you saved my life. I said, how? Then he told me the story. So the point I'm making, yes, there are individuals who miss our soldiers. And the moment we get to know it, we arrest the soldiers. 2, people have had issues in the courts of law, and I don't want to go there. My appeal also to the law and order sector, please, let's help our people. Although, of course, when you read the origin of the state and the private property, it will tell you law is not for the poor. It is difficult for a poor person to get justice in a court of law.
lwaki bazitwala.
Of course ensonga lwaki bazitwala ogiraba. Sigamba nti batutte muggo gwa kulunda nte. Ekibakwatisa emmundu baagala kuzikasa byambyone. Naye ndowooza mwalabye waliwo akakiiko ttiimu eteereddwawo okulaba nti ebyokwerinda mu kibuga n'emiriraano byongera okunywezebwa. Omanyi buli kintu bwe kiyitirira kijja n'ebikyamu. Ebbeetu lingi nnyo. Kati mulaba mutuuse n'okutandika kwagala okutujjako emmundu. Naye mbalabula omusirikale bwegezaako omusikako emmundu n'akuba essasi toyina gw'onenya. Gw'ate noonya mulabe ng'oli wano bw'ayagala okunzijjako emmundu nja kusaanyaawo. So abantu abasirikale bwe twabagamba nti basse ekitiibwa mu bantu ba bulijjo, abamu kumpi baagala kufuuka basse kibotte. Naye ekyo kijja kukendeera. Wabula obumenyi bw'amateeka bweyongedde. Ensonga ziriwa? Twagala okulya obulungi, twagala essimu ennungi, tetwagala kukola. Wakiraba ate kiri muno. Ssaawa 2 abavubuka bali ku luguudo boogera ku mupiira gwa Man U ne Arsenal. Manya ne nani ne Man City. Gwali gwa juzi si bwe guli? Lwa mukaaga. Niba abo gwe bakyayogerako. Bali boogerako bakola ssente. Bo bali ku luguudo. Kyanyiza nali ngenda kampiringisa eyo. Saawezi abavubuka olede bali ku luguudo banyinya mupiira. Lunaku lwakola. Kyekivaako okwagala okufuna emmundu bafune ssente ez'amangu. Musajja yayimba kozi yayani ntize kamwizego. Yayani yaluyimba lutaaya. So gwayagala ebyamangu naye bijja kutwaliramu. Kyokka kali nabagambye laka nkizingiremu n'ekyabasirikale ffe empisa zaffe. Kyeki kye nabagambye nti abasirikale abamu beeyisa obubi olw'enkuza gye baakozebwamu. Yes, eno tubatendeka n'emyezi 9 tugimala kujjamu mpisa ezikuze okumala emyaka 25. Nolwekyo kantu ali mukisa guno okusaba bannansi bwe tujja okuwandiika bajaasi si bino nti bonna bagende bafuna emirimu. Uniform eno yanjawulo ekuwa enkizo ng'omusirikale mutuwa abantu ab'empisa. Ebisenge byaziza ba LC kati okumanya empisa zammwe. So oli avaayo naye ng'ebbaluwa ya LC agireese. Kyekiri kye nayogeddeko aliya okuba nti gwe wennyini olina obuvunaanyizibwa n'otateeka mukono gwo ku kintu ky'oteekakasa. LC chairman wadde ebbaluwa omuvubuka ng'ono agende mu magye naye ng'empisa ze tozimanyi. Kati enkera bwakusamba omusambagere wali mu nakivubo onoonenyaani oba naye mufuna bulungi. So society generally tufeeyo okudda ku mulamwa kubanga abantu abatabeera n'amateeka abatagoberera amateeka babeera nga nsolo za mu nsiko nazo ziba n'omukulembeze. Tukimanyi nti kabaka w'ensiko mpologoma. Era kyovula nti Ssaabasajja Kabaka ayitibwa mpologoma. Poliisi tetwenkananko bungi. Jjukira poliisi erina okubeera n'ababeera ku station okukola emirimu gyabwe egya bulijjo. Namba 2 ebeereko n'abapatrolling banaatumalayo. N'olw'ensonga eyo bw'abaawo ensonga kati tusemberedde ameefuga. Okay? Tuyina omwereso ogw'erugogo. Gye mukoma okubeera n'ebintu ebibeerawo oba activities n'abamenyi b'amateeka beeyongera ebbeetu n'obungi mu kibuga. So okwongera amagye kwongeza kunnyikiza butebenkevu. Ekyokukwatibwa ne batatwalibwa mu kkooti kikyamu balina okutwalibwa mu kkooti. Enjawulo bbanga ki ly'otutte ng'onoonyereza. Namba 2 nayogeddeko mu lufuutifuuti nti yes waliwo ensobi zetu ze tukola mu nkola y'emirimu tugenda tuzirongoosa. Nsaba mutugumiikirize. Kyokka kye nnyinza okuddamu essaawa eno. Gavumenti tewamba. Gavumenti ekwata. Teri nsonga lwaki gavumenti ewamba. Ofuna enjawulo. Enkola y'enjawulo yeyawukana. Okugeza bwe bagenda kukwata ali ku gwe balowoozaamu obutujju tebajja mukwata ng'omumenyi w'amateeka omulala. Oba ntegekese bulungi. Wala ntegerekese bulungi oyinza okuba nga tomatidde gwe okusinziira ku gwe ekyolowooza ategedde naye mu maaso ge mbadde nsomamu obutakkiriziganya nange naye kyemikono gya gavumenti bali accounted for bane ensamba zijjukiza omusajja we Munyonyo yatta mukyala we n'amuziika mu septic tank twamala emyezi 6 nga narrative eri nti drone yatwala omukazi oyo mwekijjukira bamusangawo si mu septic tank yeso abamenyi amateeka basobola okukozesa ebintu nga bino ate ne bayitawo kubanga endowooza eri mu ggwanga nti gavumenti ekola bino naye nze nsaba mbakakasi nti it is work in progress tugenda tusomeseganya ne bannaffe abato abatoyinyeeko enkola y'emirimu gino nsonga 3 zenjagala okuttaanya wano namba emu kikyamukozesa amagye mu nkaayana z'ettaka era kati owekitiibwa pulezidenti yakirongoseza n'ateekawo akakiiko ke kakulembera brigadier general Lukyamuzi retired bw'oba eri aleese ow'amagye ku ttaka lyo ng'ogamba Lukyamuzi ekinaddiro n'okiraba namba 2 naffe mututegeeze nti Saidi gundi nti baataddeyo amagye ojja kutulaba nga tuvaayo era tujja bakwata naye ensonga y'okubinyala okuttaanya n'abajaasi bakkirizibwa okubeera n'ettaka kasaba nga alifunye mu mateeka nzijukira waliwo keesi yali Mubende nga famire ewadde mutabani waabwe awantu alime abantu ne bayita bukedde omusirikale awamba ettaka lyaffe omusigamu Jeno Katuma n'antuma ngende mukwate olw'ekisa kya Katonda nayise olukuŋŋaana lw'ekyalo RDC nga mwali chairman 5 tugenda okutuukayo nga Meja mwana nzaalwa ya kitundu ayina obwannannyini naye bali abasajja kubanga baali basenze nga tebagala bannannyini ttaka babeere kumpi kati musajja atumba kumusiba nga simuwuliriza nali simulanze bwemage naye nga bakozesezza nekutujja amawulire nina complaints mu office abasirikale bangamba kati waliwo ka lieutenant kano ayina ettaka ekyangwali bali mugobyemu abasirikale nabo bayina ki bayina obwannannyini buso bw'aba yalifuna mu butuufu mbegayire mulema ate kubasoomooza obadde olina kyogamba genasembye okufuna nga military intelligence yeyunye ku kikwekweto kya poliisi okunoonya abantu abo kubanga amazima go gali nti bali bamenyi b'amateeka era omusajja bamala okumubako sente ze bamusula ne bagenda okay so n'enkola ey'emirimu egyo bannaffe abato tumaze bagamba mulaba ekivaamu nti n'omukyamu ajja gikozesa abantu baddamu kufiriminga bufulimizi balowooza gavumenti yebikoze so tukyabanoonya era bajja kukwatibwa ekyabantu okuba nti bambala ebyambalo byaffe abamu babijja muffe abalala babironda gye babironze simanyiyo ndowooza mubakalaba babeera n'ennyota abalala nga bazirina naye bwe weeteeka mu uniform bwe tukutwala mu kooti maasho nti ate mwamutute mu kooti maasho ekituufu kiri nti waliwo obumenyi bw'amateeka obukuze olw'abantu okuva ku mulamwa CDF commander in chief nze omwogezi w'amagye abantu abo so ekintu bwe kiba tekivuddemu abo abana kakkada tulabye abakulu ab'amagandula nga babaako ebimu bye baba bakoze kibagana ogenda mu makanisa n'amakereziya kanzijewo omulanga gw'enkuba tuwaŋŋane ekitiibwa ab'ebyokwerinda ne bannamawulire ekisookera ddala okubeera munnamawulire si musango ekyo nsaba kigebeere mu muntu gwa buli muntu okubeera munnamawulire mulimu that's why you are called the fourth estate kyobuddala mwampise n'enzija era kimpadde ka chance okumanya mbadde simanyi n'olw'ensonga eyo tubawo ekitiibwa naye mu ngeri y'emu nsaba namawulire mukole omulimu nga temuyina kwekubiira. Bw'olekayo amazima agamu ng'ate tugamanyi gatunyiga eno, kati oluddirira oli bw'akugwako akugwako kiyifuyifu, si bwe kigwanidde ne balinamu ako. So nze nsaba nga bannamawulire tubeere nga n'abasomesa balina okubeera, obutabeera na ludda. Yes, mundu olina g'owagira n'ekisigala kyamwakyo, naye bw'olaga oludda ate enkeera n'enkulaba nga okutte notebook n'ekkalaamu, yasanga omusambagere nga guzze bwabaawo akavuyo. So tusigale mu nkubo zaffe ez'omulimu ne saidi yaffe mutuyambe okwerongoosa mutya. Bwe mulaga ebikyamu bye tukoze mu bulambulukufu, kitukakaatikako obuvunaanyizibwa okulongoosa saidi yaffe naffe.